5:30 in the morning, so everyone knows why we're so quiet.
The 1992 season for the Steelers, a season of new experiences, highs and lows, disappointments and moments to savor. As they embarked on the second chapter in their short fairy tale story, 8 months of grueling action lay ahead. Steelers general manager Ronnie Wood took the decision last summer to prepare the new-look squad for a tough season by giving them a real baptism of fire on ice. Latvia the destination with some new names and faces: Scott Neal, Neil Abel, Les Milley and Steve McSwain. HC Saga were ready to welcome their English visitors for a really testing pre-season training camp. The overindulgences of the summer months would perhaps come back to haunt some players, but they were in high spirits and realistic about the task ahead.
The opposition is going to be very tough. The team was supposed to be playing toward the NHL teams from some years ago and didn't lose, so I think we're going to be up against it. Although the team has changed in name and whatever since the breakdown of the Soviet Union, but basically they're going to be good. They're going to have his hands full.
Now it was time to get into shape for the first contest against the Latvian side. This gives you some idea of the behind-the-scenes work needed to get your favourite players in shape, some silky skills with the football, the strenuous work with the weights, and a basket of which Michael Jordan would be proud. It's not just about turning up to play, the body has to be physically and mentally attuned to the rigours ahead. As the old saying goes, no pain, no gain. So it's down to the real nitty-gritty. It's game time, but just how readied and prepared are they for the next few days? That would surely put them to the stiffest possible test.
Right, press it now. Right. Whoopsie Burger, that's where we live. And we're going to the physio. How you doing, Fizz? Oh, here, man, George. Oh, there he is. All right, Barney, how you doing, bud? Yeah. Where's Magic Gun? Leave smile. Gumby. Over and out.
Well, Tom Plummer, we're looking here at the new facilities, which are a bit of an improvement on the rink that you're practicing on. There's a football pitch here, and you're a bit of a footballer yourself. In fact, you came over to Britain to play football. Can you tell us about that?
I did, actually. I had an arrangement with Air United that I came over for a 2-week trial, and turned into 2 months, and then it led to second division football with Stranraer.
Uh-huh. And you actually came over as a teenager, didn't you, and played for Leeds?
Yeah. I really don't recall why I came over. My parents, being Scottish, decided it wouldn't be a bad idea to sit my O-levels and things like that, and I played with Leeds United Boys Club based out of Troon, Scotland at the time, yeah.
I think basically what we're concentrating on is to get the team organized. We haven't played together. It's the first time together as a team, so we're trying to get everybody acquainted with everybody, get used to the ice conditions, and basically trying to get a little bit of flow out there.
Are you going to be able to do that in 6 or so days?
I think so. We've got ice time twice a day, and basically what we're trying to do is in the mornings do a hard practice training with everybody, and in the afternoons we're going to scrimmage and get used to each line mate, and we're going to play 3 games against Riga. So I think those will be learning games, and all I want to see is progress every day and get a little better and get in shape so when we get back to Sheffield we're ready to go.
It's a 2 weeks training camp in Calgary with the actual Flames who play in the NHL. Which is it's their it's a scouting for their team for next year. All the junior players who they want to draft into the team. So hopefully just to prove yourself who the players who's going to be going over there.
What sort of things do you think you'll learn out of that?
It's just the Canadian game, the style is that much different to the British game. So hopefully I can achieve all the best things at the Canadian game and bring them back over here.
Let's battle commence. Steelers wearing their new strip were in confident mood, and leading by example was GM Ronnie Wood. Steve Nemeth tuned up for an exemplary season with his first of many goals. And now a little touch of magic from Steelers nippy number 21, Mark Mackey.
It's been a good week here. I'm certainly sore. Training camps are always there. I was trying to think back on all the different training camps I've been, and you always want to get a nice experience out of it, and this has definitely done the trick there. So that's when you look back on these things later on in life, I can say, you know, this year with the Steelers training camp in Latvia is always going to be a good conversation.
So you're well impressed with the team you're joining, and you've also been impressed with the Latvians as well.
Oh yeah, I mean they've really laid out a nice carpet for us here, and it's an eye opener. They live differently than we do, but we've been respecting their ways, and I've had a nice experience here. It's so shocking. I can't believe some of the things you can buy. I bought a bunch of fishing lures today for. Normally in Alaska I'd pay $50. I bought it for like $10 here, $5 maybe. But it's been a good experience. So. But one more day and then we're going home to Pizza Hut.
Well, I think basically it's conditioning and just building a team spirit. That's what we're out to do from the start, and we've achieved our aim, I think. Everybody's going back looking forward to getting home, but everybody's felt the benefit of being here.
So being away actually means there's no distractions, you can get on with pulling everything together?
Yeah, absolutely. They come here and they've got one thing on their mind really, and that's the hockey. Obviously at home we've got all sorts of things, but you know, it's been good for everybody. I think everybody's learned from it, and it's an experience to come to a country that really I don't think anybody would normally visit. So it's been good all round. I've seen the way we can play against a really, really fast-skating team, and we held our own for most of the game. Just unfortunate we ran out of steam.
So you'd see yourselves possibly coming away in future years?
Yeah, I would think so. I think this has got to be an annual thing whereby, you know, the team comes away, gets together for a week, gets set for the season. Whether it be Latvia or whatever, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. But I would like to continue this, and I hope very much that the rest of the team feel the same way.
Steve Nemeth, you've been handling most of the coaching here. What sort of things have you been aiming at during that?
I think just to get everybody acquainted with their lines and getting some the puck movement and that. Usually what we're trying to see is get guys skating a lot faster, moving the puck a lot quicker. Back in England and that, the puck doesn't move as quick, and then when we came over here and played against these guys, you could see that they moved the puck very well. And to stay with them, we had to do the same and keep the speed up. I think if we can go back now and play like we have here, we'll do really well.
Have you noticed a change from when you started to where you're at now?
Yeah, and there's a bit of change, but it's only been a week or so, and I think we got all the ice every day was nice, and it'll take a little more time. From the beginning of the week to now, I think we've improved a bit. As a team, we're really good, like put together. If you just put us together like we did, we played well. A lot of teams you can't put together and do as well, I think. And we were lucky for that.
So when you get back, it's not an end to training, it's just the foundations for it.
Yeah, this is just basically to get everybody together, work hard, and just start at the foundation and build up, because it's a long year yet. It's only August, and I can see personally what players need more help in certain areas, and we will work on that, and then probably work out too in the gym.
What sort of training schedule do you see yourselves following then?
Well, I think if we play Saturdays, Sundays, I think Monday would be a day off. Start with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if we can have the ice that much, with about 2 days in the gym at least after the workouts.
Welcome to Sport Time viewers to the Sheffield Arena. Torvill and Dean were here last week, Luciano Pavarotti before that. But now the arena has been handed over to that increasingly popular sport of ice hockey. We've got a knockout competition here featuring 6 of the country's top teams. In fact, it really is the cream of British ice hockey. Well, now it's time for the local heroes to take to the ice. The Sheffield Steelers, well supported here, are meeting the Billingham Bombers for 3rd and 4th place. We join the action with commentators Paul Ferguson and Richard Beaufort.
Both players are being told to leave the face-off circle, so McSwain goes over onto the wing. Wood couldn't handle that. McSwain picks it up on the wing. Pallister goes after him and just got a swipe at it. Once McSwain gets going, hang on. Perry goes in after his man, doesn't make the touch. Sheffield now with number 26, Ron Chudra, trying to get the shot away. That took a deflection. Everyone was cruising on the wrong side of the net as that one came out. Mallow was taken out of the play. A loose puck, shot from the shot bank, score! Ronnie Wood, who runs this team here in Sheffield, has drawn first blood for the Steelers at 11:16 of the first period.
Crowd very delighted. The home side has the first goal. Shudra coming up from the defensive spot, getting involved, keeping the puck in. Pass came out in front. Ronnie Wood able to beat the goaltender Ian Young on the near side.
First real test here, Richard, for Young.
Good touch to the front. Ronnie Wood right there, number 7, with a quick shot. He beats Ian Young.
Mallow was there as he bangs it off the back of the net. Bombers still with the man advantage. And Chris Peary couldn't poke that in as it whistled through the crease. 42 seconds on the penalty. Coming in now. Donald Gazelle, that's in the net! The fade. Power play goal goes in on the backhand side.
Billingham capitalized with the man advantage. Harbour reporting that it's Patrice Lefebvre with the first goal for Billingham. puck kept in by Pallister at the blue line. Lefebvre has all the time in the world. He comes in, does exactly what he wants to do, lets the goalie commit himself, and dekes him on the backhand side. Patrice Lefebvre walks in, Sheffield standing around watching him. Andy Donald makes his move and he's beaten.
Pallister camped out front, ready to take on all comers, and that pass goes through the skates and all the way down the ice as Lee goes back. 52 seconds on the power play effort for the Steelers. Flipped up onto the wing, and a chance now for Sheffield. Scott Neal can't control that pass. He elects to go behind the goal. Number 21 is there. Mackey taken out of the play. A nice pass from McSwain. Lee a chance now. The top of the circle. Lets it ride. And that took a deflection into the corner. McSwain picks it up. Neal gathers it now. Shudra. He lets it rip. He scores! 2-1 on a power play effort from back at the blue.
Well, as the puck was worked from behind the goal, the Billingham box had backed in. Shudra with a lot of time coming in from his defensive spot. All the time in the world, pulls the puck off the boards, takes a couple strides, tees this one up, really lets it go. Ian Young beaten on the deflector glove side, giving up quite a bit of room.
Well, you can't really tell here, but was he screened? I don't think so. I think Young saw that one. He just got the angle slightly wrong. Fury breaks up center. LaPlante now gets by one man. LaPlante has a chance to let the shot go, decides to work his way in nicely. LaPlante looking for the wraparound. He scores! This time Donald wasn't there to make the save, and that's another power play goal.
Andy Donald very slow to come back to the other post. Richard LaPlante walks around the net and tucks it home. Good individual effort, heads-up hockey from Richard LaPlante. He walks around the defense leaving at their feet. Andy Donald can't get over there quick enough. Richard LaPlante has the goal. There you can see the defenseman committing himself, going down. Richard LaPlante hangs on nicely and tucks it in.
1 minute remaining on the penalty to Pallister. Steelers bring it up, hit the blue line with 4 Bombers back. The pass right through is intercepted by Mallow. McSwain gets it back nicely to Neal. Neal with a lot of time out there. Still with Neal, takes the shot. And a good move by Mallow, or Smith rather, as he got a stick in there at the last moment. Loose puck is gathered by Neal. Scores! Another power play goal, a loose puck right in front of the net. Scott Neal spun around.
2 chances for a pound. The first one he fanned on, the second one he made count. Scott Neal stayed with it. He spun around. Shudra keeping the puck in at the blue line. Works it over to Scott Neal. He's hooked. He's held. Andre Mallow is down and committed. Neal spins around and much to his own delight, backhands the puck into the corner.
Young will come out and the Bombers gather it, bounce it off the boards, but it's kept in nicely by McSwain. Given away. Lee can't get it. Coming in and LaPlante. Still LaPlante. He scores! Richard LaPlante put it right under the goaltender just as the Bombers got back to full strength.
Great individual effort from Richard LaPlante. Along the boards, McSwain's pass was a sloppy one. LaPlante took it away. Phil Lee, who's not a very weak defenseman, really trying to muscle him out. LaPlante holds his ground and tucks it underneath the goaltender for the tying goal.
From a different angle, right under the goaltender, you can see the red light going on in the background. All the way down the ice, no icing is the call from the officials. Play continues. Some good stuff now as Scott Neal goes in and Young goes down to make a great save. Neal was left all alone. And it's not very often you see the ex-Murrayfield racer and Great Britain forward miss an opportunity like that.
A lot of pressure being applied on Ian Young.
This time they get it over the red line. Millie, the youngster from Fife, bangs it home to make it 4-3.
Sheffield crowd enjoying it. The home side is back on top. Good work around the back of the goal from Mark Mackey. He finds Les Milley right in front.
Now, a lot of hand clapping and dancing. They haven't started the wave yet, but I'm sure that will happen as LaPlante loses that from the face-off circle. And down comes McSwain. He takes the shot. He scores! Oh, what a rocket of a shot. Found the far corner, and Young couldn't get anywhere near it.
Another lesson for the youngsters. Get the quick shot off while you're on the move. Exactly what McSwain did, and he's got a goal. Sheffield people loving every minute of it. McSwain coming over the blue line. Doesn't take a lot of time. Gets the big wind up, but his feet are still moving. Lets it go. Ian Young beaten.
And so it's a Bombers power play. They set it up. The box is set up by the Steelers, moving in closely now. A chance with a wraparound. Donald goes down. The shot is there. LaPlante got a piece of it, but so did Donald. Mallow gathers that off the boards. Mallow looking for Pallister at one side, but he eventually elects to go into the corner. Windridge is right out front. A chance. Pallister lets it rip. He scores! Great power play goal by the big number 24.
Billingham certainly had the right idea with the power play right from the start. They put the kid, number 9, Windridge, in front of the goal just to try and mix things up and create havoc for Andy Donald, while LaPlante and Lefebvre were buzzing around making cute little passes. The puck eventually ended up on the stick of Mark Palliser, who drove it home for a well-deserved goal.
And the net is still wide open for the Bombers. They have 4 attackers out there. That comes back. Mallow takes a backhand shot. It goes into the corner. This one is in the history books. The Steelers have won it, and they have captured 3rd place in this tournament in Sheffield. The final score, a brilliant finish. The crowd are on their feet. It's the Sheffield Steelers 5, the Billingham Bombers 4. What a finish, what a game. Ronnie Wood, general manager of the Sheffield Steelers. You set this tournament up, but your team finished 3rd. Are you disappointed?
Well, I'm disappointed that we finished 3rd, but really we're playing against Premier League teams. We've come out from last year, just been promoted. All in all, we're quite satisfied, but 1st place would be nice. It's a wrench to part with the money, but that's life. You put it on the line and you pay the price.
The arrival of Metalurg Cherepovets gave the Steelers a chance to recreate the Latvian experience, only this time on home ice. The players from a Russian steel city presented another interesting confrontation between a North American style and the Eastern European way of playing ice hockey. To give the match a more even edge, some of the Russians got a chance to find out what it's like to play for the Steelers, and score goals too. Only 2 bona fide Steelers managed to get their names on the score sheet that March night. Big Ron, with a touch of Rusky in him, couldn't miss that opportunity. Now a familiar sight as the Steelers turned defense quickly into attack. The counter-attack ploy that so often proved dividends, and you'd bet your life on Mark Mackey being there to polish it all off. Smiles all round, especially from the Russians, who'd never experienced anything quite like this before. And in what had to be a damage limitation exercise, Steelers were quite happy to emerge from the game, having only lost by 6-3. Back to the bread and butter games 10 days later. The Steelers still searching for their first win over the runaway leaders of the Basingstoke Beavers, and they were very much up against it in Hampshire that Sunday night. The last game of the regular season, the Beavers as always fired up, and Rick Ferrer, newly selected for the GB team, out to prove Alex Dampier right in his decision. Phil Lee created one of the best openings for the Steelers, taking the puck out of his own end with that deceptively lazy style of his. But again, it was that man Ferrer on hand to break up the move and put Andy Havenhand's goal under constant pressure. Then, the inevitable Conway goal. It wasn't all one-way traffic. This was one of the best executed moves in the game by the Steelers. Scott Neal starting to play. Shudra and Plummer battling to retain possession. Scott Neal teeing it up for Steve Nemeth to provide the blistering finish. At last, some joy for the Steelers fans. There was more to come. All 5 out players involved in this next move. And who's there at the finish? Steve Nemeth, of course. Another tough night between the pipes for Sheffield's local hero, Andy Havenhand.
Andy, the steam's rising from you. A hard game for you tonight?
Yeah, very hard. Probably the hardest this season, actually. I like a lot of shots around 40, but tonight I think they went a bit over the top. You know what I mean?
A man of the match again. Do you think you deserved it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Lost about probably a stone tonight, so I deserved it, I think.
Why were you so busy tonight? Was it the Steelers or the Beavers?
Steelers mainly, I think. They started off very slow. I don't think we had a good shot on their net until halfway through the game. But they are a good team, very good team. Very good stuff.
We seemed to come back a bit in the third period. Why was that?
We had nothing to lose then. At least we could go out and win one period, I thought. So we did.
Good game last night. Do you think the game at the arena detracted from your performance tonight as a team?
Yeah and no. We're not playing well at the moment, really. We're getting results, but we've got to play a lot better if we want playoffs.
Yeah, and how important are the playoffs are they to the Steelers?
Well, to Mr. Gardner-Brown, they've got to go up, so looks like we've got to do it.
Nothing down in the first period of the first leg of the Yorkshire Cup between the Premier Division outfit and the First Division side. Dale Lambert gets dispossessed by Les Milley. Milley needs some support. It's arriving in the shape of Tommy Plummer. Plummer to Ron Shudra in front of net. They just carved open the Humberside Seahawks defence. And there was Shudra on hand for the final touch. Ronnie Will appreciated that one. Big, broad grin on his face. And I don't think the Seahawks know what's hit them. Milley across to Scott Neal. Head down, looking for the support to arrive from Shudra. Shudra across the face, Milley. Rebound nearly fell back to his stick. Tommy Plummer already out front. The goal has been dislodged intentionally. We'll have to wait and see whether Mick Curry thinks so, because if he does, it'll be a penalty shot for the Sheffield Steelers. We've seen one already in this game, which was taken by Stephen Johnson and converted. And if he believes that was done intentionally, then it'll be a penalty shot to the Steelers, and that's exactly what he's telling the players surrounding him is going to be the case. How often do you see a penalty shot in a game? Very rare you see 2 penalty shots in a game. But Ron Shudra now has a chance to tie things up.
Scott Neal's quite happy about that. A little chat on the bench is Anthony Johnson here, exchange a few words. Great Britain internationals both. The alternate captain of the Sheffield Steelers. Discussing that last incident and probably some other things besides. But now Ron Shudra, with just seconds remaining on the game, has a chance to put Sheffield Steelers back on level terms at 5-5 with hardly any time remaining for the winning goal for either side. Shudra, big, long, rangy run. Takes it through. But he'll be the hero of the night. Frankie Killen, no doubt about that. Got in between Shudra and the shots. Stopped it sneaking through. They appreciate the sterling efforts of the former Durham and Billingham netminder.
0 for 2 on penalty shots this year on.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the first one against Durham, I kind of blew that one. But this one here, it's the first time, you know, I've come up against him for a while, so you don't really know what he's going to do. But I've never seen a goalie just sort of more or less just fall backwards after you go to make a shot. So he's kind of a funny style, but you know, what can you do?
Don't see too many games where there are 2 penalty shots in them either.
No, that's for sure. I mean, I think that was just because everybody was going pretty wide open. There's a lot of defensemen up into play for the whole game, which left it really open in the back. So you know, anytime that happens, there's going to be a lot of half breakaways and breakaways and things like that, and you just got to go out and hopefully score on it.
What about the shooting in the game? Let you down a bit?
Well, I mean, again, you know, we had a lot of shots on net and we had a lot of chances. One thing that we didn't do was score the open nets. I mean, we hit a couple of posts. We had Frankie down on his knees and his back a few times and just couldn't get the puck over him. Whereas I think 3 or 4 of their goals came in little scrambles around the net where they just off a leg or open net or just banged it up and over top sort of thing.
The first hat trick for you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, but. Interesting coming against a Premier League team where you can't get one against in your own division sort of thing, but you know, it's something that'll boost my confidence a little bit, and maybe I'll be back to my old self, just rushing the puck and having some fun.
How much quicker was the speed of the game?
It was a little bit quicker, but it was a little more controlled. I mean, our division seems to be very, very offensive, whereas Humberside, they also I'd like to take it back into their own end and regroup if they don't have anything. So it settles the game down a little bit. You have to play positions a little more, and you don't get actually as tired.
Now, it's said that any game in the Sheffield Steelers' own barn is worth 2 goals advantage to you before you even start, so you must be pretty confident.
Well, I mean, you know, the fans are great. I'm sure they'll turn up and they'll be as loud as usual. So, you know, you can't predict the future. So we're going to go out there and we're going to give the same effort as we did today, and maybe we'll be able to pull out 2 points this time.
So, Ronnie, first of all, how did this 3-match tournament come about?
Well, I think we were looking for something appetizing for the fans to enjoy. Obviously, we hadn't played Humberside at all in our history, and it was about time we got things together with them. They're our closest rivals, really. It just made sense. Every other team in the country plays regional cups, etc. So it was nice to put Yorkshire Cup together, and obviously we hope it's going to be an annual event from now on. And I think after tonight's game, it's shown the excitement that can be generated from 2 teams from different divisions.
Stephen Johnson will contest this face-off against Mark Mackey. Mackey wins it, gets it in the second attempt, play it through, shot on net, rebound comes back to Les Milley, who just pokes it away, fine style from close range, Poacher's goal. He gets it in the second attempt and controlled it well. It's 1-1 in the second leg of the Yorkshire Cup. Nothing much separating these 2 sides, just 1 goal between them over 2 legs so far. Milley tries to feed it through to Mackey on the return. Milley waiting for it again out in front of net. Mackey takes a shot from an acute angle. And then Minder gets in between him and the goal. Stephen Emmett looking for another angle to open up this time. Dixon back to Shudra. Shudra buries it. That's where he's so dangerous, the captain of the Sheffield Steelers, just showing his great range from just inside the blue line. Opens up, lets it rip, and the first that the netminder for Humberside knew about it when he saw it in the back of the net. Now an opportunity opening up for Steve Nemeth. Didn't quite get through this time. Milley tries on the turn, tries again, has Mackey arriving in the centre for the rebound. Trying to slot it through again. 3 attempts in close succession, but they make it in the end. and that was real persistence by the front men for the Sheffield Steelers. So, Dean, how did you enjoy your first taste proper of playing at the arena?
Oh, I enjoyed myself. I only got on a couple of times, but when it's a bit of a tight game and it's really important, you can't expect too much, can you, at once?
What were your feelings on your first shift?
Oh, I was really nervous, butterflies in the stomach and that. It's hard to get into it as well when you haven't been on from the start and you're not sweating like everybody else. So it's kind of hard to get into it.
The third match in the Yorkshire Cup series between the Sheffield Steelers and the Humberside Seahawks. The Steelers will line up 1 Andy Havenhand, 2 Paul Dixon, 7 Ronnie Wood, 8 Scott Neal, 10 Steve Nemeth, 11 Tom Plummer, 14 Gary Cox, 17 Robbie Saunders, 18 Tim Cranston, 20 Andy Donald, 21 Mark Mackey, 22 Phil Lee, Les Milley wears 23, and Ron Shudra 26. For the Seahawks, Gavin de Jong 2, Mike Bishop 4, Lee Barley 5, Paul Simpson 6, Stuart Carville 7, Sean Johnson, 3 of the Johnson brothers all playing in this game. He wears 8. 9 is Aaron Byrne, Stephen Johnson, the captain, wears 10, Anthony Johnson at 12, Chris Hobson 14, Dale Lambert 18, Andy Steele 19, Frank Killen 20, Danny Parkin 21, 22 is Kevin McNaught, Dan Dorian, who missed out on the first 2 games, is back into the third one. So the Yorkshire Cup third game and the decider between the Sheffield Steelers and the Humberside Seahawks. 5-4 to the Hull base side in the first game, 9-4 to the Steelers when the two sides met at the Sheffield Arena. The third and deciding game being played in front of the biggest audience in the country. On a Tuesday night, there's a good 6,000 or 6,500 crammed into the Sheffield Arena for the deciding game in the Yorkshire Cup. Kevin McNaught against Scott Neal, 2 Great Britain players facing each other across the face-off circle. And again, it's McNaught who comes up with it. Winning most of the face-offs in the early part of this game are the Seahawks. Shot now from Shudra. Rebound back to Plummer. Shot from Scott Neal. Number 1 for the Seahawks is now cancelled out by number 1 for the Sheffield Steelers. 10 minutes and 25 gone. Scott Neal puts him on the board.
It's a good pass from Mark Mackey down to Ron Shudra on the point. He lets a quick wrist shot go. The goalie deflects it out. It's bouncing in between Tommy Plummer and Scotty Neal. And Scotty Neal doesn't miss a lot from that range and shovels it in nicely.
So 1-1. And the game could now come to life. Here's Scott Neal with a chance of his second of the evening. Rounds the keeper. Is it in? And in the space of 15 seconds, Steelers have gone from being a goal behind to being 1 in front. Steelers 2, Seahawks 1.
Scotty Neal gets a great breakaway from the centre there, shovels it into the goalie's pads, and Ronnie Wood's following up and manages to just poke it in the corner. Great goal by Ronnie Wood.
Mackey tight on the boards on left wing. Nemeth in there as well. Mackey will come up with it again. Needs support arriving in the centre. Held off the play, held into the boards by Dale Lambert. Comes to Les Milley. Good interception there by the Humberside defence in the shape of Mike Bishop. Clearing their lines well. There's only a temporary respite, I think. Dixon looks for Nemeth. Finds Milley. Now on Mackey. Held off the play in the corner by Mike Bishop. There's Milley's shot. Well, how that sneaked through, I don't even think Brian Cox has any idea, but Les Milley won't care how it got through, how it comes. because the scoreboard now reads Sheffield Steelers 3, Humberside Seahawks 1.
Yes, Les Millie got one of the best snapshots in the game. He comes in on the right there and just lets it go straight over the top left-hand shoulder of Brian Cox.
Playing it through to Mackey. Mackey takes it over the blue line, rounds the challenge of Dale Lambert. Still has it, but then just gives it to Bishop on the end of his stick. Danger man Dorian looking to make a break. But here's Mackey again across the face, and Les Millie slots it home for number 4, and his second of the night. 5 minutes and 13 seconds gone in the second period. It's Steelers 4, Seahawks 3.
Yes, Mark Mackey does well, takes it out the corner, sees Les flying through in the slot, and Les one times it straight into the roof of the net.
Sean Johnson nearly coughs it up for Mark Mackey. A bit of a battle. Stephen Johnson arrives to support. Boomer coming in from Shudra. Into the body of Brian Cox, who got down to it well. Shudra tries again, sliding it wide of the right-hand pad of Brian Cox. Again, he was there in position to stop it trickling through. Nemeth in a battle, a real old battle with Sean Johnson to win this one. He might do eventually. Gives it to Mackey. Mackey arriving in the centre. Paul Dixon. Paul Dixon on the reverse. And then Tommy Plummer picks up on the rebound of Brian Cox. Slots it home past a despairing Humberside Seahawks netminder. And when the two sides are back to full strength, it's the Steelers who get in front. 5-4, 51 seconds remaining on the period.
Some superb work on the boards by Steve Nemeth. Mark Mackey flies it across the front of the goal.
Actually given to Mark Mackey that goal in the end. Seemed to be that Tommy Plummer had got the last touch, but the goal is credited in that scramble to Mark Mackey. Battling performance by the Steelers down their own end at the moment. Steve Nemeth brings it away. Got Shudra arriving as the ball on left wing. The rebound goes back to Shudra on the follow-up. Buries it in the left-hand corner of the net past the despairing Brian Cox. And towards the end of the second period, the Steelers have opened up a 2-goal advantage. Steelers 6, Seahawks 4.
Yes, Steve Nemeth skated in with the puck. Takes the shot just over the blue. Goalkeeper saves well. Ron Shudra follows the shot in, hits it first time under the goalkeeper.
So just 4 seconds remaining on the second period. Phil Lee with the last shot of the second period. 40 minutes of ice hockey at the Sheffield Arena in the Yorkshire Cup. Third game, the decider, has elapsed, and the Steelers have taken a 2-goal advantage. They're in front, but it's still too close to call. Sheffield Steelers 6, Humberside Seahawks 4. So the final period of 18 that have been played between these two sides in the space of 2 weeks. The third game in the Yorkshire and Humberside Cup Series. And a chance for a wraparound goal from Mackey, but it's put away by Steve Nemeth. 13 seconds into the third period, and the Steelers open up a 3-goal cushion over the Seahawks. It's Steelers 7, Seahawks 4.
Yeah, Mark Mackey's coming behind the net, tries the wraparound, comes off the goalie's pads. No one's picking up Steve Nemeth coming up from the high slot and pops it into the back of net. A good early goal for Sheffield Steelers.
It's that man Dorian again, little wrist shot, which Andy Dowles is in good position to stop. Plays it out to the Humberside, away from the Humberside Seahawks forwards, to a Sheffield Steelers defenseman. The big man, Ron Shudra, tries to work his way inside the Humberside Seahawks defence and does it to great effect. And the Sheffield Steelers have made their power play count. 44 seconds still to go on it. And the Steelers now open up a 4-goal margin. It's Steelers 8, Seahawks 4.
Yes, Ron effortlessly brings the puck in. No Humberside player comes towards him. He takes it round the outside on his favourite side and slips a good hard low shot into the corner of the net.
Back it comes to Dorian, trickles over his stick. Now Tommy Plummer, big trouble halfway. He's only got the goalie to beat. Can he do it? He can. 6 minutes and 39 to go in this Yorkshire and Humberside Cup. Steelers lead 9-6.
A great Steve takes it over the blue. 2 defensemen coming in on him. Hasn't got a lot of time. and fires a hard slap shot straight through the 5-hole.
Lambert tries to play it in the direction of the Humberside Seahawks player who was waiting for the pass. That player would have been Stephen Johnston. Instead, Cranston buries it in the back of the net. Cox is frustrated, Cox is annoyed, Cranston is elated because it's another short-handed goal and the Steelers bring up double figures. Steelers 10, Seahawks 6.
Yes, the Seahawks trying to throw him forward to bring the game back. Tim Cranston picks the puck up, fakes the pass to Ron Schroeder and fires it again straight through the 5-hole of Cox.
Last 15 seconds, you'll hear the crowd count down the seconds as we each towards the end of the game. Last shot of the game surely from Nemeth. Intercepted, breakaway from Bishop, but he's not going to have long enough to take this one, is he? 3 seconds, 2 seconds, no, and anyway, Dole gets the deflection to force him further wide. And that's the end of the Yorkshire Cup. 3 games played between the Premier League Humberside Seahawks and the First Division Sheffield Steelers. 5-4 to the Seahawks in the first, 9-4 to the Steelers in the second. No doubting who came out the better side in the last 2 games, because in game number 3, played at the Sheffield Arena in front of a crowd of around 6,000, the Sheffield Steelers have come out victorious by a sizable margin over their higher-ranked neighbours. Sheffield Steelers 10, Humberside Seahawks 6. So the Yorkshire Cup is going to be presented to the Sheffield Steelers. Humberside Seahawks look rather crestfallen, as you might imagine they would, after that sort of defeat. Sheffield Steelers will get the cup, and it will be collected by the man who's going to hold it aloft, Captain Ron Schroeder. That's for the cameras and for the fans. I think he's quite happy with that, and so he should be. David Gardner-Brown, the man who is managing director of the Steelers, has a word with Schroeder, who holds the trophy aloft. Good night's work done. David Gardner-Brown says, take it and show it. Show it to the players, show it to the fans who've been there to acclaim your performance tonight. Big smile all over Big Ron's face, showing Scott Neal and Andy Donald what they've just won. Has it got the impression you rather enjoyed that game tonight?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, playing in the First Division and then coming and playing against the Heineken team, it was really good. I mean, I was actually thinking to myself before we played against Humberside, I mean, what kind of shape I would be in for Premier League hockey after being in the First Division for quite a number of years. And actually, I don't find it that hard. We've got a really good team. The team played really well tonight, I thought. As a unit, I don't think you could single out anybody that actually had an outstanding game, because I think we really won it with teamwork tonight.
Anybody who'd walked into the rink who didn't know anything about ice hockey, watched the 2 teams, would have thought tonight that you were the Premier Division team.
Yeah, I mean, well, we played the style of hockey really we've been trying to play all year, as play it down low behind the net, really dump and chase, really make their defensemen skate, try and tire them out, because they're playing quite a lot of ice time. So really that was our main plan. We've been trying to working it down low, and we've given a lot of teams a few problems that way.
Alex, how does that performance rate amongst the others that you've had since you took over the team?
Well, because it was a trophy, Bob, I think it was probably the real highlight of the season so far. It's real nice to get the crowd support behind us and come up with some silverware. I think everybody enjoyed that part of it.
A little bit worried perhaps early on that Dan Dorian might steal the show?
Well, you know, he's the type of player, when he gets the puck, he can do some damage. I think our defense reacted quite well after the first period. He did us some damage, and you know, we coped with it, and the third period became good.
Great team performance, everybody working hard right throughout 60 minutes.
Yeah. Team performances haven't really been the problem this year. Everybody's working hard. It's just sometimes around the net we're not scoring. Like tonight we scored 9 goals. Some nights we work that hard and only score 4. It's not the lack of effort, it's just the lack of probably scoring consistency.
Tonight, 10 goals in the game, and I think 7 different scorers.
Yeah, that's the other good thing. We're getting a lot more out of certain guys. Scott Neal's been scoring pretty regular, but it was good to see Tommy Plummer and Les Milley back in the frame. And course, Steve Nemeth's always scoring. He's a pretty consistent type of guy when it comes to scoring goals.
A lot of people underestimate the work rate of some of the players. Tommy Plummer in particular gives you 101% every time, whether you're losing, drawing, or whatever.
Well, you look at the whole team, and there's no real individual stars as such. You know, of course, your imports stand out a bit. But everybody works, and including the imports, everybody works very hard. And I think if you've got the guys that are supposed to be your best players working hard, it rubs off on the guys that are sort of your role players.
How much can you read into these performances in terms of what you could achieve in the Premier League next year?
Well, I think we'd have to strengthen to a degree, mainly because if tomorrow we had a real tough game, we don't have the depth just now to cope with another hard performance tomorrow. Humberside could probably ice 3 lines, and we'd struggle just now to put together 3 lines.
Are you surprised the way it turned out?
Not really, no. I expected a very tight game. Actually, I think it was probably a little tighter than what the scoreline suggested. We got some good breaks, and when we did, we buried them.
All right, nice to get a bit of silverware in the cabinet, what, 2 months after you joined the club?
Yeah, it's nice. It's sort of unexpected, really. I thought we were just fighting our way through for playoffs and trying to get into the Premier League, but it was a nice, pleasant surprise, and Peter Johnson, an old friend of mine, I sort of got one over on him here. He won't like it, but I'm sure you'll get one back on me eventually.
So, to the all-important playoffs. The next 2 weeks and 6 games would decide whether it was to be Premier Division action for the Steelers or another year in the first. The opening match was at home to the Norwich and Peterborough Pirates. Todd Bidner came in to replace Scott Neal, who was injured on Great Britain duty in Holland. A former Washington Capitals player had an immediate impact. The Pirates were still shaking off their bust legs when Phil Lee popped up to score a rare goal. Just quite what was wrong with the visitors' defence, only they could know, but the Steelers, and this time Tom Plummer, took full advantage. (4-1) after the first period, and much more to come. Some more battling from Bidner provided Ronnie Wood with this scoring opportunity, leaving a Pirate in a heap in the net. The gulf between the two sides at this stage was further emphasised by a great bit of puck control from Les Milley. And despite a Pirates fight back, Steelers were able to find goals when they mattered. Ron Shudra setting up Paul Dixon, who said defensemen can't shoot. Starting and finishing this move, who else but Mark Mackey? And never far away from the thick of the action, Tommy Plummer adds his name to the list of goal scorers. Here we see more battling qualities which underlined the Steelers' performance that night, shown to great effect by Les Milley again. The young Scot then got involved in a pirate sandwich which had many of the home fans fearing the worst. .12-8 the score at the end of the match. The margin should have been much more, and the return fixture could still have a great bearing on who goes up.
I've never seen the Steelers play so well, apart from perhaps the final against Humberside Seahawks. The first two periods you played very well. What happened in the third period?
I think everybody just forgot why we got ahead so much in the first two periods and just didn't do their job as a team. I mean, that's the difference right now. We're playing as a unit. As long as we do that, we do well. As soon as we go as individuals and we make mental errors, then we fall apart. And it's the same as any team. You know, the team that plays best as a team wins it. And they got 3 power play goals on us in the third period, and we just got lazy, basically what it is. And I'm quite, in a way, I'm happy because it gives me a reason to jump on them tomorrow and Friday and let them know that it can't happen again.
And can you predict the result for Friday's game?
Oh, I wouldn't dare do that. That's bad omen. You can predict it.
We played a great 2 periods. In the third period, we just let up, you know. And I think we just tired ourselves out, really. But, you know, you can't win a hockey game just playing 2 periods, so we've got to get ourselves together and play 3 solid periods.
You haven't got far to travel next Tuesday for Tuesday night's game, have you? Do you think the rink, the Peterborough rink, is going to give the Peterborough Pirates an advantage?
Well, Peterborough, they're a strong team, you know. They can't be taken lightly. Like it showed in the third period there, they came back with 6 goals. You know, they're a strong team, especially in their own rink. It's going to be a really good game.
And what would you like to predict the way the Sheffield Steelers are playing, what the result's going to be at the end of the playoff games?
I'm not going to predict anything. You know, the guys, we're just going to put it all together and hopefully come out on top.
Are you missing Scott Neal at all at number 8?
Yeah, well, we got Todd Bidner in replacing him, but things seem to be working out right now, so hopefully it'll continue.
Todd seemed to play exceptionally well tonight. Has he played with the Steelers before or just in practice?
No, it's the first time he's been out with us, and it's looking good, so, you know, hopefully it continues.
The last home game and a goal feast for a capacity crowd at the arena to enjoy against the Slough Jets. A ruthless demolition of the Jets done clinically by the Steelers, and now it was time to let the end-of-season celebrations at the arena begin, with another away game still to come, of course.
Todd, how long are you on loan for? Just tomorrow, or is that it?
Well, I'm not too sure. I'm trying to acquire my British passport, so we'll see how that transpires over the summer. And I'm quite sure that I can get it, and qualified to play for the Great Britain team. So that'll make me I think a Class A next year as a reclassed import. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, how were we fortunate to get hold of you? Is it because of Scott's injury? Or?
Well, yeah, Scott. I think they made the rule before the Great Britain World Championships in Pool B that if anyone did get hurt over there in Holland or wherever it was, that you could replace them with anybody that was available in the country. And as it was, Telford wasn't we didn't make the playoffs in this round of playoffs, so I was available to play, and luckily I could play an extra 2 weeks in a beautiful building.
The first game for the Steelers, which game was that? Because you actually scored, didn't you?
Yes, against Peterborough, my old team. I played there for 4 years, actually, and scored the first shift, which was kind of, the pressure cooker was off there, and I could relax a little bit anyway.
Had you practiced with the team before that night?
No, I got the call the night before, so, I was all packed, ready to go to Florida for a vacation, and, I think I gained about 10 pounds that week when I wasn't playing, so I wasn't totally prepared, but through the week I'm starting to feel a little better.
Yeah, you took quite a bit of stick from the Peterborough crowd. That didn't affect you at all, did it?
No, it actually gets you going a little bit, because if they weren't yelling at you, then you're not doing a job out there. So, if they keep booing and hissing me out there, then I know I'm doing something right.
And how many did you score tonight?
3 tonight.
Magic hat-trick.
3 tonight. Yeah, I could have had a bunch more. Could have had a truckload more, but.
You saved it for tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to save something for tomorrow. The big game tomorrow.
And are we going to see you at the Sheffield Steelers permanently next season?
I'm not too sure. You might have to ask Alex that. We'll see what transpires over the summer. I know they're going to try and build up the team a little more, make it a little more stronger. So if that's in their cards, and I'd love to come back here and play.
You enjoyed playing for the Steelers at the
Oh, it's been a great experience the last 10 days, actually. 6 games in 10 days we're not really used to, because we usually play 6 games in a month. So it's been hard old struggle for the last 10 days to kind of get things back on track.
What do you think of the Steelers fans?
Oh, excellent fans, excellent. I never expected they would pack the place tonight for the last game, but what a great support they have here, and they're getting really interested in hockey, and hopefully they can build up their minor system as well. That's what we're here to do.
Congratulations, first of all, 2 goals. You were aiming for the hat-trick one?
Well, don't even think about these things, to be honest with you. It's just a case of the team has to win the games. It's playoffs, and everybody's got to contribute the best they can.
An emotional night for you tonight?
Yeah, very much so. I think it's the last home game. We're on course to achieve our ambition, which was the Premier League in 2 years. Everybody's worked very hard at the club. The players have been tremendous. They've been through a lot this year. We've had a lot of injuries and suspensions that we've coped with. Finished second in the Heineken Division 1 wasn't bad at our first crack. It would have been nice to win, but you can't have everything.
Are we going to see Ronnie Wood on the ice here next season?
Well, I don't know what the future holds for me at the moment. Obviously, I've not been in good shape all year because of the amount of work that had to be done off the ice. I've had a little bit of opportunity to get myself in some kind of condition for the playoffs. I feel I've been contributing quite well. Scored a few goals. Scored more goals in the playoffs than I have the rest of the season combined. But, you know, we'll see what happens over the summer.
What do you think of the support the team's had from the fans during the course of the season?
Oh, the support's magnificent. I don't think there's any club in the country, be it football, whatever, that has the same fanaticism that we have at Sheffield for the Steelers. I mean, it's a lot of hard work to keep them happy, but at the end of the day, they're the people that count most, other than the players themselves, from a management point of view anyway. And long may it continue. I think it's a fantastic advert for sport in this country, and I just hope that we can give the supporters back the amount of pleasure that they give us by turning out each week.
So, to the last game of the season, death or glory for the Steelers? Fortunately, it was the latter. The Sheffield Steelers in the Premier Division, 5-3 to the boys in black. Now the celebrations can really begin. The next night, the Supporters Club end-of-season dinner, and first the man of normally few words, Andy Havenhand.
Actually, I'm going to make a speech. I don't know if they can understand me. I'd like to say thank you to Ronnie Wood for having faith in me, especially the time of the season. And I'm sure I can go a long way with the Steelers. Great Alex played in the playoffs and everything. He must have faith in me as well. Looking back 3 years ago, with the Sheffield Sabres. After games, we used to laugh and joke about playing in the Premier. But Sheffield Sabres is playing, it's a joke. But we're here.
Next year. I'd just like to say thanks to 3 people that got me here. Ron Shudra, Ronnie Wood, and Dave Sims. They pulled me up one time. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for turning up tonight on behalf of the players. Again, I can't echo it enough, like what everybody else is saying, that without you, the Sheffield Steelers wouldn't be. And again, we just like to say thank you to all that.
It's got the end of a long, hard season.
Yeah, it has. I've been disappointed. I've missed out the playoffs. It's been a real low point. It's good to see the guys. They really done well in the playoffs. They came through, were promoted. I just wish I could have done my bit nice.
Were you up Milton Keynes yesterday?
Yeah, I was there. It was a nerve-wracking game for me and to watch. But I always felt that the boys were in control and they were going to win.
Leo, you playing last night?
I was there.
You were there?
Yeah, I didn't go on ice very much. The guys that were on ice were doing the job, so no complaints at all.
Milton Keynes trying to keep you all out, were they?
No, they played good hockey last night. They were out of it, and the game meant nothing to them, but they didn't want us to win, but we did.
A lot of controversy, and Dave Sims mentioned it several times on the radio. What about the referee? Did he make some good calls or some bad ones?
He made some good calls, and he made some bad ones as well.
Is it cool under there?
I think it's going to be when I go outside, but it's been pretty warm inside actually.
What do you wear?
Yeah, you wear absolutely nothing underneath actually. I tried. I said I was like shorts, tartan jocks, anything. But the boys weren't letting me out of the house without anything, so I had to go along with it.
You're hanging loose.
Yeah, I thought it was a myth, but I guess not.
Right, let's go to the last season. Any particular memories of the season you've just finished?
Oh, sure. I think every day's a memory, really. Maybe 10 years down the road, some will stick out more than others. Obviously, I think Ron Schuder's performance last night will stick out. I think playing alongside every guy, Steve Nemeth especially, Mark Mackey, Scott Neal, playing alongside, maybe seeing Les Milley perform in the future, maybe playing with a veteran like Neil Abel. I think I'll remember all that kind of stuff, the camaraderie between ourselves. As for moments, I'll obviously remember the crowd. Played in front of a few crowds back home, but nothing to compare. I'll remember things like getting balled out after it was 3-3 with Slough. I remember a few ball notes from Damps. He wasn't here for a long time, but it's what I'm used to from back home. It's what I need, maybe. So I remember a lot of things.
You're talking about back home. What is back home for you, Tommy?
Back home's London, Ontario, and Canada. I played junior hockey up until I was 20 years old, which is the limit back home, unless like Stevie or Ronnie, unless you go to a professional career, which I didn't. I went on to university. I'm very fortunate to be here. I have to thank Ronnie Wood and Andy Donald for that, and obviously the organization. But I'm in no hurry. I'll be leaving on in about the third week in May. I would presume. Yeah. I've enjoyed all my time in Sheffield.
Are we going to see that?
I've been at that a long time, and I honestly, I'm not like Ronnie. I'm not holding any secrets back, but I have no idea. We haven't really talked about it. I think the priorities have been on different things, and I haven't pushed them at all. And I would expect that, out of respect for me and themselves, that they'll let me know either way. And whichever happens, I have to be grateful for the moment right now, and for what they've given me this past year.
Really, I just want to keep in trim. I want to keep in contact with the people in Sheffield, and also keep my ties with the people in Sheffield. As you know, I'm already coming back next year as well.
That's good news. Whereabouts is home for you? Are you come from Fife?
Well, it's actually funny. I've got 3 homes at the moment. I've got one in Fife where mother and father have. My future mother and father-in-law in Nottingham, and I've also got Sheffield as well.
With the hockey season over, it was time to turn attention towards football, and a balmy night in more ways than one at the Aurora Sports Ground in Rotherham.
Can one of you tell me briefly what on earth we're doing here on a Friday evening?
Yeah, this match is for the Chris Fund, to raise as much money as we can for this fund, which is for the hospital research for the kids in Sheffield. Simon's from Radio Sheffield. He's organised it from the Radio Sheffield end, and I've organised it from the Steelers end.
Are you fundraising all through the year, Gary?
Well, we hope so, don't we? Well, yes, absolutely, and there are a couple of people at Radio Sheffield that spend a lot of time and a lot of energy fundraising. So the Chris Fund is one of the charities that's very much at the fore when people come asking for money at Radio Sheffield.
So if anybody asks, or if anybody buys this video and they want to send money to the Chris Fund, where should they send it?
Care of Barbara Barr at the Children's Hospital, I think. Yeah, or at Radio Sheffield, yeah. But not to the Steelers.
Another starring role for Steeler Dan, leading out a collection of misfits, misshapes, has-beens and never-wases. And some with real footballing pretensions. Spot the former stars of Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham, and a manager or two. first duty of the night for yours truly was to present the Ice Hockey Writers All-Star Awards to Phil Lee, Les Milley and Scott Neal. So, gentlemen, let battle commence. These are the goals of the vanquished.
You go when you get back.
Simon Clark's All-Stars then, deservedly winning on penalties. Part of the job of being a Steeler is to get to know you, the fans. It's virtually impossible to do it on game nights, so signings like these at W.H. Smith's in Sheffield is seen as very important.
You're going back home next Wednesday. What do you do in Canada?
Well, I go home and just more or less relax from the season. I mean, we played about 65 games this year, which is quite a few if you play an awful lot. So it'll be more just to relax and take it easy for the summer and hopefully play a little golf and go out to the lake and do some boating. Yeah, I gonna go with my brother. We're doing I guess it would be an under-14 team that we got to put together for a tournament down in Minnesota in the end of July. So got that to do all summer. So that'll keep me on skates, anyways.
Going back over the last season, the season started with Latvia. Have you got anything to talk about? Any comments on the Latvia experience?
Well, I was lucky enough or unlucky enough not to make it to it. So you know,
You weren't in Latvia?
no, I wasn't in Latvia. So it was a good experience for me not to go, I guess, the way everybody was talking about it. But you know, the guys had lots of fun over there. I just couldn't make it that early in the season. Had some business to do back home, so I couldn't get away.
You started with the Steelers then at the Sheffield tournament. How do you think that went for the team?
I think it went all right. I mean, considering everybody got in more or less the day before that night. I mean, the team got in about midnight that day. I got in about 4 in the afternoon that day. So. I mean, the guys were a little tired, obviously, but overall, I think the tournament went well for us.
Highlights of the year for you? What do you remember?
Just more or less the whole season's been gone by very quickly this year. I mean, we've had a lot of trouble all over the place, but you know, we've played as best we can. We've got a few games that we've taken a lot of fans away to. A couple of Milton Keynes games, a Telford game, even down in Swindon, everybody showed up down there. So I mean. You know, it's always nice to see that sort of thing, and that's what you really remember most.
What about bad moments? I can think of one. Should I mention?
Oh no, we won't mention that. But that's all in the past. He's off and running, that guy. So I don't have to talk about him too much.
The bad moment I thought it was the penalty you missed.
Oh no, that's not the one I was talking about. That happens. I mean, he came up big when he had to, and the big thing is we won in overall. So that's not even remembered.
How do you think the team played? I think they played better than I've ever seen them play in the final of the Yorkshire Cup.
I thought we played very well. I mean, you know, the guys knew what they had to do. I mean, I think Humberside's a club that can play the game. I think they ended up about 4th or 5th in the Premier this year. So I mean, they're a team that can be beaten, but you know, they also showed that they've got the ability to go out and play a good solid style like they played in their building. They came into ours. I think they maybe been you know, a little in awe of the building and things like that. Guys not playing in front of a crowd like that, so that might have helped a little bit.
2 games to go. How do you think it's going to go tomorrow night? Do you like to predict, or?
Well, no, I don't like to predict anything, but I think tomorrow night is more or less a crucial game of the two. If we win that one and Milton Keynes happens to beat Peterborough, then that'll more or less guarantee it for us to go through, even if Milton Keynes does beat us on a Sunday. So we're looking forward to seeing the results on Saturday night between Milton Keynes and Peterborough.
And are you looking forward to playing in the Premier Division next year?
Well, that's the thing. If the contract offer is there, then I may be back. But if it's not, then they're going to have to bring in someone else, I guess.
And how long will the Steeler fans have to wait?
Well, they're going to have to wait at least another couple of days till after the weekend. I think there should be an announcement made Monday or Tuesday.
For anybody that's interested, I will be here for 1 more year. So.
When do you go back to Canada?
Go back Wednesday, 21st of April. I'll fly home around 3:30. So.
And what have you got planned when you arrive there? Where
Planned.
is
Home is Kamloops, British Columbia, and once we get home, we got to move back into our house and start visiting the families because they haven't seen us for 9 months, and my son Mitchell's grown quite a bit since then. And we'll go back and take it easy and get ready just to have a nice summer, and then come back next year in August.
Good. So you'll be back in August for the... are we going to have another Sheffield tournament?
I don't know. I'm not sure. That's up in the hands of the management right now. But looks like we'll be starting up about mid-August, maybe a little bit of a training camp. Nothing like Latvia, I don't think. Maybe if we do have one, it'll be in the UK. But I expect a better start next year, and looking forward to it.
Latvia, was it a good news for the Steelers to go out there? Did you learn much?
I thought it was good because everybody got to know each other. We had some new players this year, and it wasn't too hard. It was, some of the conditions were not too bearable for the players, but I think it was a little too tight towards the tournament. And we came home like 1:30 the night before. Guys are tired from traveling, and we had to play 2 games that following day. So I think if we would have came back maybe a few days earlier, you might have seen us in the final.
The other tournament, of course, that you played during the course of the season was the new Yorkshire and Humberside Cup. Was it a surprise for you to be in a Premier Division team?
I don't know if it was a surprise. I think we've got a team that could play in the Premier. I stay in the middle of the pack there, but to go in there and play against them was great. I think that would have been our highlight of the year so far. Other than we got to get promoted in the next 2 games, but it helps those games and shows us where we have to go if we get promoted to the Premier. And everybody enjoyed it. The Humberside did, and I'm sure our supporters did.
I don't think I've ever seen the Steelers play as well as they did in the final here. Does it raise the game for the Steelers when it's an important game?
Yes, I think it does. I think when we play better teams, they put a lot more pressure on us, and it makes everybody on the team more aware of their mistakes in that, so they don't do too many. When we play teams that are not as strong in that, we tend to get a little tired and maybe just mentally not strong enough and say, well, we're ahead by 6 or 7 goals, and relax. Where in the case of playing Humberside and that, we knew that we can't let up and we had to keep going.
If you had to think of your worst moment in the course of the season, Steve, can you remember any bad moments?
I think bad moments, we lost Steve McSwain, Benson Hedges, just before that against Durham. I thought we played well in Benson Hedges. I think we could have, if he would have been there, I think we might have been in the semifinals for sure, and if not the finals. Another worse, you had some more problems with Ron Shooter getting 6 games. I think that was a big blow the whole year. I don't think that was a fair call. 6 games, maybe a couple, but 6 was not. It was too far-fetched, and that hurt us. That hurt us probably, I would say, for first place.
And the other bad news, of course, was when you were off the ice for quite a while against the Basingstoke game.
Yeah, well, that was...
Any comments on that?
That was, he called a 5-minute major and threw me out for attempting to injure or something like that, but Nikor never really told me anything. He just, I went to put my stick between the guy's legs across the blue line, and it hit him just above the knee. It looked like I speared him and that, and I started to go to the penalty box. I didn't have any arguments with the ref or anything, and all I heard was him telling the linesman to escort me off the ice because I'm kicked out. So I think that was disappointing, but those things happen.
Right, to finish on a good note, any particularly memorable moments that go down as the best time with the team?
I think we've played really well against Milton Keynes. I think winning in Milton Keynes, it's got to be good times. I think the last 3 playoff games out of the 4, we've played really well. I think towards the end of the year, the boys were looking a little tired, and then I didn't know what to expect when the playoffs came, and I think everybody here has come up and played well. And we're going to finish off with a good note, and I think that's going to be the most memorable, is the last 2 games we're going to play this weekend, and hopefully in the promotions to the Premier, because that's the ultimate for us. That's the ultimate for us. That's the ultimate for us.